Can I trust a married man when he says that he loves me? He has a wife, but says he loves me. What does that mean? There are a few possible explanations for why a married man would say that he loves you. It's possible that he's just attempting to use manipulation to get you to sleep with him, or an intense feeling like resentment, jealousy, or feeling trapped in his marriage. Here are the 9 best factors to consider before you trust a married man that say he loves you. Of course, there are other possibilities as well. But if you're wondering whether or not you can trust a married man when he professes his love and says that he loves you, these are some things to consider. 1. Consider how long have you known this man. If you've only known him for a short amount of time, it's more likely that he's just trying to take advantage of you. On the other hand, if you've known him for a while and he's always been honest with you, then it's more likely that his feelings are genuine. 2. Think about why he's telling you that he loves you. If he's telling you that he loves you out of the blue, it's more likely that he's just trying to get into your pants. Men can make mistakes and marry the wrong woman for various reasons. Especially when a man gets married young or without really knowing his wife, it's possible that he might realize later on down the road that he made a mistake. 3. Look at his actions. Of course, words mean nothing if they're not backed up by actions. If a married man is telling you that he loves you, pay attention to his actions to see if they match up. Does he make time for you in his schedule? Does he go out of his way to do things for you? If so, then his actions are indicating that he does indeed love you. 4. Consider the risks. Before you trust a married man who says he loves you, it's important to consider the risks involved. Are you prepared to deal with the potential backlash if his wife finds out? Mistress's ship is most times secret affairs. Are you willing to be a secret forever? Are you okay with the fact that he's already married and has made a commitment to someone else? If not, then it's probably not worth getting involved with him. 5. Consider how he has proven himself to be true. If a married man says "I love you," ask yourself first, how true and honest has he been to you so far? Does he know about your family, friends, and work? Of course, only you can decide whether or not to trust a married man when he says that he loves you. But if you take the time to consider all of these factors, it will be easier for you to make a decision one way or the other. 6. Is he there to encourage your downs and to celebrate your wins? A married man that encourages you when you are down and celebrates with you in your successes is a man with good signs that he loves you and worthy trusting when he says "I love you." If a man only wants to be with you when it's convenient for him or when he needs something, then it's likely that he doesn't love you and is just using you. He should be putting in the time and effort to make things work, even when it's not easy. If he's not willing to do that, then it's probably not worth getting involved with him. 7. Consider if he sees the real you like no one else does. A man that loves you will see the real you, your vulnerabilities, your strengths, your quirks, and everything in between. He accepts you for who you are and loves you anyway. 8. Consider if you love him back. This is perhaps the most important question of all. But if you do love him back, then it's worth considering whether or not you can trust him. Ask yourself if you have a strong feeling for him. You know the kind, butterflies in the tummy, can't stop thinking about him, always wanting to be around him kind of love, head over heels, he's my life package. 8. Consider if you have crossed any physical lines with him. You can trust a married man when he says he loves you if he still professes his love for you even if you have not slept with him or crossed any physical lines. However, if he is reaching outside his marriage for love and attention, it means he is unhappy or angry at home. Everyone at one point has overreacted because of intense emotions such as resentment, jealousy, anger, or loneliness. Because he loves you doesn't mean he doesn't love his wife still. If he separates with her and then approaches you. 9. Consider what's his story. He has a wife, but says he loves you. Why? If a man has a wife but says he loves you, there is a reason why. Just take it slow before deciding to trust him when he says that he loves you. Love is a tricky thing, and it's even more complicated when it's between two people who are married to other people. He should be attentive, considerate, and loving. People like to judge and condemn a man when he leaves his wife for another woman without even knowing what's the story behind his married life. All is well, but how do you know if he is telling you the truth? How do you know if a married man loves you truly? I think there is a need to ask you action 2, why are you with him knowing that he is married? Have you taken time to know him? Many of mistresses and have consulted in my practice would agree when I say that typically, dating a married should be done for profit. Otherwise, why do it? If you have and he ticks all the boxes I shared earlier on, then believe him when he says he loves you. To learn more about my take on how do you know if a married man loves you truly, check out my article on the matter. How well do you trust him? He has a wife, but says he loves you. How well can you trust a man who would lie to his wife about having a relationship with another woman? Unless you can assume he has the guts to admit to his wife what's happening, this guy might be a kind that is willing to say anything to get what he wants. If he's not willing to be honest with his wife about what's going on, how can you trust him to be honest with you? The bottom line is that if you're involved with a married man, there are a lot of things to consider before you can decide whether or not to trust him. Make sure you are not involved with a serial cheater. If all is well and he is not a serial cheater, you have Professor he opened up to his wife about the affair. The next question is, can a married man fall in love with his lover? Can a married man fall in love with his lover? Can a man who is married and has kids fall in love with his mistress? The answer is, it depends. If the man has been unhappy in his marriage for years and feels like he's been living a lie, it's possible for him to fall in love with his mistress. I've seen so many miserable people together because they think the wedding is the end game. Men get demonized for leaving or cheating. Sometimes, people, especially men, get beaten down and stuck in a relationship. There are a lot of factors to consider when trying to answer the question, can a married man fall in love with his mistress? Signs a married man is using you. Before you put all your trust in your married lover, make sure you're not being used. The same things true and honest married men say to their mistresses are the same things dishonest married men say. For a married man with intentions to use you, if he says he loves you, it means he loves you physically and don't want to miss a chance to have sex whenever you meet next time. So be very careful when getting involved. He's always busy and can never make time for you. Married man says he loves me but won't leave wife. There's nothing worse than being in love with a man who says he loves you but won't leave his wife. It feels like you're stuck in limbo and can never move forward with your relationship. Leaving a wife and family is a huge decision and one that shouldn't be taken lightly. The best thing you can do in this situation is to be supportive and understanding. Meanwhile, this is a sign that you should not trust him either. Only you can decide if you can trust a married man when he says that he loves you. Ultimately, it comes down to the individual man and the circumstances of his marriage. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We want to hear from you in the comments. If you are currently involved with a married man, I encourage you to take a step back and assess. Mom Nkema is a marriage counselor and relationship expert who has dedicated her life to helping couples build strong, healthy relationships. She has academic degrees in education and psychology. Share this with friends, Facebook, Twitter. Visit Mom Nkema. Link in description.